Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 28th. This week, you start with this Overcoming Challenges card. It says, a triumph will bring great changes. Let yourself be open to victory. You also have this Fiery Beginnings. It says you're on the brink of a real breakthrough. Follow your heart and live your passion. Damn. We're off to a great start here, Capricorn. So definitely could be some sort of victory or new beginning or overcoming a challenge. Definitely could be a new beginning. You have the Fool right here as well. I feel like there's something you need to see with this Two of Swords, which I'm pretty sure that I've basically been saying this to you for like a few weeks now, Capricorn, that it's almost like there's something right in front of your face that you need to be aware of. I don't know. That's not a very helpful message, but there you go. So again, maybe you just need to pay attention. And also trust your intuition. You know, the whole point of the Two of Swords is that she has that blindfold on, and the blindfolds in the tarot can represent needing to trust your intuition and needing to really tap into your intuition as well. The Two of Swords also kind of says, like, things aren't black and white. You know, she is thinking two choices, you know, this or that, but she has that new island behind her, which is like the shades of gray, you know, and also it could be a third place solution. So I would just be open to like other ways of doing things in general with this card. But like I said, I feel like there's something that you need to see with the Two of Swords. You know, the other thing about her is that she's afraid of getting hurt. You know, the reason she's not going to this island is because these rocks are in the water here. But if she took her blindfold off, she would see that it's low tide and she can see the rocks and she could avoid the rocks. So really, if she pays attention to whatever her new beginning is, then there's nothing to worry about. And this could be in any area of your life. So whatever you're thinking about starting or whatever you're thinking about doing, you know, as long as you pay attention, you will be fine. You have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups, of course, can be a knight in shining armor. There's like a little bit of love here as usual here, Capricorn. It's almost like love is a barnacle that's attached to your ass here, Capricorn, where it's like, you know, you could have it if you wanted it or not. I don't know. It's your choice, Capricorn, of course, but definitely could be a knight in shining armor. I mean, you have the Ten of Pentacles right next to it, and the Ten of Pentacles is like everything you want and desire in your life. And so that's like the full, you know, it's the full big picture, everything. So definitely could be a person that helps you get there, or maybe you get there together if you're looking for love. The Knight of Cups could also be your dream. And it's really important with the Ten of Pentacles that we dream, that we understand what the dream is. You know, we have to know where we're going before we can go there. So I always say with the Ten of Pentacles that we need to get clear what a perfect life would look like for us, and then we have to work backwards. So it would be a great time for you to work on that. You also have the Fool. Yeah, it's like there's some sort of new beginning, or you're taking a leap of faith. You've had this card. You've been getting the Fool with me a lot, now that I think about it. Because I feel the big risk for Capricorn is looking like a fool. You know, so if you're thinking about starting something new or doing something different with your life, which you probably are, then, you know, you could be fearing that if you take a leap of faith that you're going to look foolish. But I feel like the Fool is saying, like, no, take the leap of faith. It is the right direction for you. And even both directions look good. You know, this way, Ten of Pentacles, this way, Page of Wands, Eight of Wands. You even have the Four of Pentacles, which is showing up in the good stuff, which could be like more stability, growth, you know, abundance, whatever you want to call it. So I definitely feel the Fool is saying, like, you are ready to take some sort of leap of faith, and I would. With the Two of Swords, you have the Sun. Yeah, it's like Sun is true happiness, and the Sun, you know, makes the whole entire reading a little bit more positive. But the Sun kind of says you need to. The Sun exists on that new island behind you. You know, the third option for your life or a different direction. So don't be afraid of moving towards your happiness or something that you feel would make you happy. We even have the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is your inner child. So, you know, for a lot of you, this definitely has to do with something that will fulfill your inner child. This is your inner child. The wall behind him is the wall that we all put up against our inner child. Sometimes I feel like the Sun basically says that we need to bring down the wall of our inner child. We need to be more playful. We need to have more fun. And usually that's what happens to Capricorn anyway in life. You know what they say about Capricorn is that, you know, Capricorn ages in reverse. It's like Capricorn start out as like little old people, and then they end up, you know, when they get older, they become younger. So that kind of makes sense based off this reading, is that you could find yourself being more young at heart, which is great. And Capricorns usually look young when they're old as well. So there you go. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. Four of Swords, like resting, relaxing, recovering, hoping, and praying. Like if you've been asking for love, this could be a person that you've been asking for. And so, I don't know. There you go. Go for it. The Four of Cups, there's also a person who's blessing another person in this stained glass window right here. And so maybe you've been asking, hoping and praying for certain blessings to come in. And, I definitely get that feeling, but I do feel there's a lot of work here. But you are a Capricorn, so of course there's a lot of work here. It's like, I don't know if I support this or not, although I do this, so what I'm about to say. So I guess I kind of support it, but it's almost like you're going to be taking a bunch of chances, like especially in work or business, where it's like you could be doing something until it works, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're saying it's almost like you're fed up with an energy of something not working. And because of that, it's like you're saying, I'm just going to make this thing work. And I don't know, I just get that feeling on the Four of Swords. Normally, I wouldn't support that because I feel like if we put ourselves in that place, we're basically telling the universe, I have to work hard and I have to take a bunch of chances for things to work out for me. But this feels a little bit different. So again, if you are doing that this week, probably not that big of a deal. With the Fool, you have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords says the past is dead, done, over with for sure. And, it makes perfect sense with the Fool that you're kind of taking a leap of faith away from, the past, everything from the past, and you're kind of starting something new. I mean, again, Pluto changing from your sign to Aquarius is probably one of the most significant transits you will ever experience in your entire life, Capricorn. I always say the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is the death of establishment. So for Capricorns, they literally are kind of like undergoing a transformation in something that has been established in their life for a very long time. I think I said this to you in your last reading. A lot of you over even just like the past 4 years could have experienced some sort of establishment leaving your life. It could have been like a parent. It could have been a long-term relationship. It could have been, pretty much anything. But just think about anything that has been in your life for a long time. You might have experienced a loss, because of that, because of Pluto. But what I would say here is that the Ten of Swords kind of says that you are ready for new blessings. He's making a symbol right here with his hands, and that symbol represents like a blessing. And the Ten of Swords can be a blessing in disguise. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Adjustments Are Required card and this Meditate and Contemplate card. Yeah, I think this card is very important. The Adjustments Are Required card is going to be very important because, like, the first time you try something, like if you're building a new business or starting a new idea or changing your health or changing your love life, it's like, the first thing you try probably isn't going to work, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work. The Adjustments Are Required card just says like, hey, you're starting this new journey in your life and there will be changes, and all that's required is a little bit of flexibility. I don't really think Capricorns have a hard time being flexible anyway, so I'm not too worried about it, but I do feel it's saying, just be flexible. You have the Six of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Like I said, I get more of that playful energy from the Six of Cups. I feel like you could be entering into a more playful time, and I feel it's encouraging you to be more playful. Now, that doesn't mean that you could be playful. I always, sometimes I'll say things like this, and people will tell me that they're like in a very serious time or that they can't be playful and things like that. I'm like, exactly. It's like the energy the universe tries to get us to move in opposite directions. It's like that's how I look at the energy. It's like a pendulum, right? It's like things become too serious. We feel like things are serious, and the universe is like, you better get things moving the other direction. So you have to be more playful at this time, even if it feels like you can't. So I would be inviting more like fun, play, childlike energy, exploration, asking questions, all those things. I'm sure you can carve out 5 minutes a day to do something that makes you feel playful or joyful. And those are the things I would be doing with the Six of Cups. Usually, sometimes I feel a Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive is kind of like a turnaround. But I kind of feel the Six of Cups is saying for you, Capricorn, that you could create a turnaround if you invite more playful energy into your life. So that's going to be important. You have the Ten of Pentacles. All Earth signs, pretty much everyone on Earth is being pushed to create a Ten of Pentacles because of Uranus and Taurus. It's pretty obvious to me, I mean, with Uranus and Taurus wants us to build and leave a legacy. The Ten of Pentacles is building, leaving a legacy. It wants us to work on things that are long-term. So even though Uranus will be leaving Taurus at the end of the year, or really the beginning of next year, it doesn't matter. We learn a planet when it's going through a sign. And then after it leaves a sign, we are implementing what we learned. So for many years to come, you will be building and leaving a legacy. Really, we build and leave a legacy for our whole entire lives, And so a lot of you could be working on kind of like more, it's like you're trying to create the big picture. I also do feel that, mark my words, come back to me in 3 years, Capricorn, because I guarantee over the next 3 years that you will do something where if you look backwards on your life, like from the time you were born till 3 years from now, it's like you will finally be seeing how everything you went through is kind of like adding up to a big picture. So Capricorn, out of all the signs, it has the best opportunity to connect the dots looking backwards. Like, you will see how like lessons you learned, things that didn't work, things that did work are all adding up to like one thing. And this could be like a new career, could be a new business, could be a new direction in your life. But it's like, everything is starting or should start to make sense over the next like 3-ish years. And I just think you're going to go through that process. I think it'll be good. Ten of Pentacles is abundance and making it rain. So, I think things will be, it will be fun. You have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands does things because he feels optimistic. You have the Sun, which is the card of optimism. So I would be moving in the direction of things that make you feel happy or optimistic. That's probably your best bet with the Page of Wands. Page of Wands wants us to be optimistic, wants us to be, joyful and playful and all the things that we've already talked about. With the Six of Cups, you have the Tower. Some of you could be feeling like past moments. It doesn't really surprise me. How crazy... By the way, everybody got the Tower, what was it, like last week or whatever, and then the Pope died. So it's like every time everybody gets the Tower, I just say that there's probably going to be some global Tower moment. I haven't been wrong yet. So, it's one of those things. But the Tower is also the death of establishment. So the Tower, these people have been ignoring reality, and now they're coming down to reality on the Tower card, and the crown is falling off the top of the Tower. This shouldn't scare you at all, Capricorn, because, literally, I just told you what this was before, which is Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius. It's like you are reinventing yourself. You're entering into new realities. You're doing new things. I don't think this should be scary at all. There could be some scary moments, but it shouldn't be. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Pentacles, change in direction. Seven of Pentacles, he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? I do think you Capricorns are in a big moment. I would say especially for you Capricorns that are like 20s, like if you're in your 20s or, if you're having your Saturn return, if you're like close to your 30s, even if you're not having your Saturn return, I would say if you're having your Saturn return over the next few years, most of you Capricorns in that age bracket could be really kind of thinking like, what do I want my legacy to be? with that Ten of Pentacles. I think all of you Capricorns will be feeling this, but I just think the younger Capricorns will be feeling it just a little bit more than the older Capricorns. And again, that doesn't mean you're not going to get the benefits if you're older. I'm just saying, for the most part, I think the younger Capricorns, especially if you're in your later 20s or if you're like 30 or 31 and you're experiencing your Saturn return, definitely could be something to think about. You're going to have to look at your own chart as well, but I would also say if you are a Pisces North Node, you also could be experiencing that, and if you're having your North Node return. So that would be 37. So if you're 37, you could also be feeling this as well. And it's kind of like one of those things where you could just be thinking, what is going to be worth it to me in the future? And like I said, all of you are going to feel it. I just think the people I mentioned are going to feel it a little bit more. And I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. I always say Seven of Pentacles, I can't answer because you are the one that is deciding this. With the Page of Wands, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's definitely time to make a move. I think all your readings, it's like you and Cancer. I don't know what it is about you two, but you always get these cards that say it's like time to make your move and time to start planting those seeds and start your journey with the Page of Wands. And I feel if you do that, things will go really, really well for you. So definitely time to make a move. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says truth transcends illusion. You also have this antelope spirit. It says life is speeding up. Yes, you also have the Eight of Wands in this row. The Eight of Wands is things happening quickly or something happening fast. And so, momentum is picking up. Momentum has been a big theme for you, Capricorn. One thing I will say is I think momentum is a theme for Capricorn. Like if you are a Capricorn, it doesn't matter what time in history you are born. Momentum is kind of like one of the secrets for Capricorn to keep momentum going. So, you are the sea goat. You are meant to climb mountains. And so the challenge for Capricorn is you're always climbing mountains. You're always like having to overcome things. The trick for Capricorn is to set up systems, to set up things in life that when you get to a peak, you keep that momentum going, right? And you don't stop. Because that way you can take a break, right? Instead of always climbing mountains, if you set systems up that maintain your level, then you can take breaks. And so, I think that's going to be, that's always a theme for Capricorn. It's really important right now with Uranus still in Taurus, and even after it leaves, it's going to be important because, again, Taurus, if you think about Taurus, they love comfort, right? Some people say Taurus is lazy. They're not really lazy. They just like comfort. And, so we have to create comfort in our lives, and building momentum can do that. And that's what I would do with those cards. Next, you have the Hermit, the Five of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. The Hermit, I do kind of just feel kind of basic about this Hermit. I feel it's kind of saying, like, you need to get out of Hermit mode. I think you need to, get out and touch some grass here, Capricorn. I think you need to, like, breathe some fresh air. Open your windows in your house, get that fresh air rolling around, and I feel that would be very beneficial for you. The Hermit also says you need to put yourself on display, especially with the sun. He has what makes him special, his inner light inside this lantern, but he needs to shine that lantern out all over the place. He needs to kind of like show off. He needs to show the world what he's made of. And I feel that would be good for you as well. You have the Five of Swords, like some sort of risk that you're taking. I feel like you're afraid that something is going to be a disaster with that Tower card. And I really don't think it is. So, like, if you're thinking about taking a leap of faith, or if you're thinking about taking a risk, I would take the risk here. I really don't have any good advice, but I feel that it's like one of those things. If you're thinking about doing something, and it's like if you don't do it, you'll always wonder, what if? So it's like, sure, it could be a risk, but whatever you're doing here, it looks to me like maybe this is something financial because we go down to the Four of Pentacles, but it could be anything. And I think you need to take the risk of starting something or building something with that Four of Pentacles. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands says things are happening quickly or things are speeding up, which we already know because you have that card that says life is speeding up. So things could be moving forward very quickly. This could also be good news coming in for you here, Capricorn, which I do feel that you could be getting some good news this week with the Eight of Wands. Let's see. With the Hermit, you have the Two of Swords again. It's like you already know the decision that you're going to make, and you just have to make it with that Hermit energy. Again, she's trying to protect her heart. She can't, like, look, we have the Three of Swords right here. And it's like you might be in a position where you couldn't take another heartbreak, right? But it's like you could be fearing something where if you paid attention, there wouldn't be a heartbreak. And this doesn't have to be love. I do feel for some of you it is. It's like maybe you're interested in a person, but you're afraid that it would really hurt if you went for it. Same thing with work, business, or anything else you're trying to change. And but really, the Three of Swords is coming up in the good stuff, so it probably won't hurt. With the Five of Swords, you have the Death card. This is probably the other fear. I know because I feel this right now too, and I have a crap ton of Capricorn in my chart. It's like the fear of change. Like if I do these things, then my life is going to change, and then what's going to happen? It's like that's the question that you're asking yourself. Or you could be asking yourself the other question here, which is like, if I invite something into my life, how is it going to change my life? Or is it going to prevent me from being able to do the things that I want to do? So this could be anything. It's like if you're inviting more responsibility into your life, you could be thinking, oh, if I take on these responsibilities, in work or business or whatever, then I'm not going to be able to do what's fun. But really the trick for you here is Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles says, what is your ultimate vision for your life? If your ultimate vision is that, yes, you do have some extra responsibilities, but you still have fun, then you just have to find a way to make that happen. And so this isn't about looking at things and saying this is a limitation. It's about looking at things and say, how do I find the right thing? That matches my vision. And so it's like a little bit of a perspective shift that needs to happen with these cards. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Lovers. Definitely could be love communication. I'm pretty sure in the May readings that I just did for you that you also had love communication coming up. So if you're looking for love, it looks to me like you could be getting communication and love. Could be any sign. You pretty much have everything here. So, could be any sign that's coming in for you. You have Scorpio twice, Virgo, Leo, water, fire, earth. You have basically everything. So, could be any sign. Next in the area, you can't make this up either. In the area of the good stuff, you have this flexible card. I literally said something about being flexible. I can't remember where, but at the beginning of the reading. You have this exchanging gifts card. The exchanging gifts card is like a card of receiving a gift. Like I said, the Six of Cups can be a turnaround that you are receiving. So that's like the type of gift that we can receive with the Six of Cups. So there definitely could be a turnaround. I would definitely be flexible here. It popped into my head at the beginning of the reading that you might be looking at something too logically or with the Two of Swords, or you might be looking at something and thinking it's going to be this way or this way, but really it's going to be that way. And you just need to realize that things are going to go a different direction. You have the Four of Swords. Great time for healing for you. You have the Three of Swords as well. So these cards are coming up in the good stuff, so they're going to be positive. And the Four of Swords can just represent resting, relaxing, recovering. The Three of Swords represents forgiveness. We have to remove those swords from our own heart, and we have to forgive the past to heal the Three of Swords. We don't have to forgive a person directly. This could also be you forgiving yourself as well, right? Like sometimes we need to forgive ourselves for not doing things or not seeing things or whatever. And so I feel this would be a great card for healing as well this week. You have the Four of Pentacles, comfort. Four of Pentacles in the good stuff would represent security. Normally Four of Pentacles is a card holding on too tightly to the past, but this could also say that you are finally healing from the past with these three cards. I also do feel like more financial security coming in for you, Capricorn. It wouldn't surprise me if over like the last year or two, if you've been very worried about finances, and I feel this is saying like you need to let go of that problem. It's fun. I just started reading The Big Leap again by Gay Hendricks, and I haven't read it in a long time. And in that book, he calls it the upper limit problem, which is where people become successful. They hit that upper limit and they start worrying that things are going to kind of go down. And that's kind of what's popping into my head with the Four of Pentacles. Is it like maybe over the past couple of years, things did actually go well. And maybe over the last year, things started going down. And I feel this is about, like, again, working on your mindset. With the Four of Swords, you have the Fool. Time for action. It's like if you have been resting, relaxing, recovering, it's definitely time to make your move or shoot your shot or do whatever you got to do here, Capricorn, in whatever it is that you are working on. With the Three of Swords, you have the Ten of Wands. Responsibilities. I literally said that a minute ago. I was getting some sort of message on that Ten of Pentacles, like the Five of Swords. It's like not bad, but it is a challenge, This is coming up in the good stuff, but I read intuitively. I don't really feel bad about it. I feel this is something but I do feel it is like responsibilities or, some sort of responsibility that you're taking on. And you're kind of like saying to yourself, like, if I take on these responsibilities, I'm going to be burdened. But I also feel like saying it doesn't have to be that way. Like, I feel like there are, there are things you could do to make it not that way. Or, it's like kind of like love. Like sometimes I think people like want love, but they also say, but if I invite this person into my life, I'm not going to be able to, do some of the things I do or whatever. But it's like not true. You could find a person that still wouldn't care or just wouldn't even, where it just doesn't even matter, right? So I think this is a problem of mindset, needing to change your mindset there, Capricorn. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, could be a really solid opportunity coming in for you at this time. Could be for anything in your life, but the Ace of Pentacles is like a big opportunity that has a lot of potential. So, definitely would be a good time for that. You have this October card, and you can't make this one up either. You have this tiger. It says, doing something risky, taking a chance. So between now and October, you could be taking a risk. I feel like sooner rather than later would be better. You could be getting the results of the risk in October as well. You have this purse card that says, pay attention to your finances. Finances look good, but, as always with you, Capricorn, again, momentum, doing things that give you like a nice solid foundation. Four of Pentacles would be a good idea financially. You have this wreath that says sorrow over loss. We kind of talked about this with the Ten of Swords, the the Tower and the Death card and the Three of Swords. You could be still healing from some sort of loss, caused by Pluto in your sign. And so, it is what it is. You have this target. It says a goal-oriented person. I mean, you are a goal-oriented person. So I think you are working towards a goal. Probably your 10 of Pentacles is what you are working towards with this energy. You have this February card and this woman. It says dealings or relationships with a woman. It could be any gender, but there could be a person from February coming back into your life. Could be a person born in February. Could be anything that's coming in here with these two cards. But I do kind of feel this could be like an important person or a guide. I do feel like it's not really showing up in the reading, but I do feel like guidance would be helpful, like finding a mentor. Finding a person, even like like an accountability partner, a person you can bounce ideas off of at this time would also be really good with this reading. So, all this love stuff, it doesn't have to be love. It could just be a person you do love, that is like a mentor or a friend or a guide. And so some of you need to look for that as well. But this looks really good, Capricorn. I like it. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.